I used to think that avocados were the most amazing superfood that you could possibly eat. I would recommend them, tell my patients to consume these, until I found this. When they arrive at the grocery store, many times they put them to this gas chamber. Then they artificially ripen them with something called ethylene gas. The problem with this is when you do this prematurely, you no longer help develop the natural flavor chemicals because you're creating in this artificial ripening process. You don't develop the phytonutrients. That's why when you buy it, it looks perfect on the outside, but on the inside, it's terrible. Anytime you force something to ripen, it's very unnatural.
Now, let's shift to avocado oil. People ask me all the time, isn't avocado oil one of the best oils? I read a research paper that looked at 22 samples from a range of brands, both refined and unrefined. They examined things like free fatty acid levels and how oxidized the oil was. Oxidation simply means the fat has reacted with oxygen and started to break down. I really want you to feel this, not just hear it. Let me give a visual. Picture slicing an apple in half. On one half, you drip lemon juice. On the other half, you leave it alone. After a little while, the untreated side turns brown. That browning is a form of oxidation. It is like slow rust. It is the breakdown and aging of that food's surface. Now, imagine paying a premium price for avocado oil and not realizing much of it has already started browning on the inside in a way you cannot see. When they analyzed those bottles, there was a surprising amount of oxidation already present. That begs the question, why are we getting such degraded oil when we are paying a higher price for what is supposed to be a healthy upgrade? I asked myself, what on earth is happening here? Think of the avocado fruit itself. Unlike corn oil, cottonseed oil, or soybean oil, avocado oil is not pressed from a dry seed. It comes from the soft green pulp. In that pulp, you naturally have vitamin E. You also have chlorophyll pigments. Both can act like helpers that slow some damage. But if the fruit was handled poorly, stored too warm, exposed to light, or refined with high heat, those natural helpers can get stripped out or overwhelmed. The big issue with eating oils that are already oxidized is they can bring more stress into your body. They can nudge inflammation higher over time. That does not mean 1 teaspoon will ruin your life. It means routine use of a damaged oil is not doing you the favor you think it is. Some refined avocado oils are stripped to the point they look almost clear and neutral. That may seem clean, but often what you lost was the character, the green tint, the subtle aroma that clues you into protective compounds. So we need to be far more alert than most casual marketing suggests. In some bottles labeled as avocado oil, testing has turned up other cheaper oils, soy oil, canola oil, or other seed oils, added in to stretch the batch. That is called adulteration. In that analysis I mentioned earlier, and others like it, they reported that a very large portion of the products tested were not pure. The figure widely cited from one study was around 82% not matching the quality or purity implied. Let that sink in. You might think you're drizzling pure avocado oil on your salad, when in reality it is blended with a lower-cost oil that you would never knowingly choose. There is another tactic, deodorization. This is a process where heat and steam strip smells and some flavors out of the oil that can hide defects. So you can't always taste rancidity or oxidation. Your tongue is not a lab instrument. A neutral flavor does not mean the oil is fresh. Oxidation does not announce itself with a horn. It can be silent and still add unwanted compounds that your body now has to process. So, how do these companies get away with it? Here is the part that shocked me when I dug into it. There are no firm, legally binding U.S. standards that define extra virgin avocado oil the way there are for extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil has long established international criteria. Avocado oil does not. Without a strong standard, enforcement is weak. Without enforcement, bad actors can slide in. That gap creates room for dilution, mislabeling, and creative marketing that dances just inside a gray zone. In the study I referenced, I put the link down below if you want to dive in. Some products had little to no actual avocado oil present. Instead, they contained soybean oil, canola oil, or a mixture. Yet the label would say, pure. or 100% avocado oil. To the average shopper scanning a shelf, the packaging looks trustworthy. They see a green label, maybe a sliced avocado icon, maybe the word natural, and they think they're making a smart choice. But the trust is misplaced, and it does not stop there. Let's talk about country of origin confusion. A bottle can legally say product of USA, even if the avocados were grown in one country, the crude oil extracted in a second, refined or blended in a third, then bottled on U.S. soil. The consumer sees USA and thinks local grove, local press, local bottle. Reality, multi-country pipeline. Again, none of this is printed in big, bold letters. The transparency is not where most of us would like it to be. So, you might flip the bottle and think you will get clarity. Instead, you sometimes get vague wording, missing dates, and no mention of harvest. If a brand does not want you to know the age or origin specifics, they simply leave that information out. You end up guessing. And if you are a busy parent or professional, you are not going to stand in an aisle with a magnifying glass cross-referencing lot codes. Companies bet on that. The phrase packed in can mean one thing. Product of can mean another. Some oil can even be bulk shipped long distances in large plastic or metal containers, then rebottled long after its freshest window passed. All of that time counts. Fats do not freeze in time just because they sit in a warehouse. Now, let's deal with expiration and freshness. There is no strict legal requirement that avocado oil must show a harvest date or even a real expiration date. Some bottles say best by and then a month and year, but best by is not the same as harvested on or pressed on. Without a harvest or production date, you cannot tell how long the oil sat before bottling. You also cannot tell how long it sat between bottling and shelf placement. So, you could be buying oil that lost much of its peak quality a long time ago. Here is one practical point. Choose dark glass bottles. Avoid clear plastic when you can. Light, heat, and oxygen are the three big enemies of oil quality. A dark glass bottle slows light damage. A tight seal slows oxygen entering. And proper storage, cooler and away from direct heat, slows breakdown. If you see a bottle sitting right under bright store lights, in a warm area month after month, you already know enough to pick a different one. If you ever open a bottle and smell a paint-like odor or a waxy putty or old nuts aroma, that can signal rancidity. Fresh, quality unrefined avocado oil should have a gentle, green, slightly grassy or buttery note. It should not smell like a hardware aisle. Does every person get that exact scent? Not always. But once you smell a fresh bottle and a stale bottle back to back, you do not forget the difference. Now, let's move to guacamole, another area with surprises. Many fast food or mass-produced guacamole-style dips are padded with fillers, green peas, food starches, gums, vegetable powders, hydrogenated or refined cheap oils, color stabilizers, sometimes citric acid in heavy amounts. The end result can be a pale imitation, thick green paste that only lightly brushes against real avocado. In some food service mixes, the actual avocado content can be tiny, sometimes under 5%, or in extreme cases, practically none. That may shock you if you assumed that green scoop was squeezed from fresh fruit that morning. Texture tricks. They whip peas or starch to mimic the creamy mouthfeel. Oil is added to mimic richness. Coloring or spinach powder helps achieve a green hue. Spices and onion powder create the illusion of fresh flavor. All of it builds a product that looks close enough for a busy line or a drive-through customer who will never compare it side by side with genuine hand-mashed avocado. Let's also speak about cosmetics. Some lotions, hair masks, or creams boast with avocado oil on the front. Flip the ingredient list and the first lines might read soybean oil, palm oil, mineral oil, fragrance, and then way down near the bottom, 1 drop's worth of avocado oil. They legally listed it, but the front label impression is that avocado oil is the star. That is marketing jujitsu. The active you wanted is present, yes, but maybe in a token amount. If you are paying a premium solely for that, you deserve to know the proportion is minimal. So, how do you navigate all this? Let me give you a simple checklist. Dark glass bottle. This protects from light. Look for both a best by and, ideally, a harvest or pressed on date. The closer the harvest date is to your purchase, the better. Avoid the absolute rock-bottom bargain brand. Extreme low pricing can be a red flag for dilution. Slight natural green tint is good in an unrefined oil. A totally clear oil is usually refined. Not bad automatically, but often stripped. Mild, fresh scent. Not burnt, not chemical, not stale. Buy smaller bottles if you use it slowly. Large bottles sit open longer and oxidize more once oxygen enters. Store it cool and dark. Pantry away from the oven, not above a heat vent. If you can find lab testing or third-party verification, some brands now offer QR codes leading to batch tests. That is a plus. If a company is proud of purity, they tend to show their work. When you see vague claims and zero batch detail, you rely only on trust. Now, for the fruit itself. When you buy whole avocados, I generally recommend varieties like the Hass, often misheard as host, grown in places with standards. California, for instance, can have stricter quality handling. Those cheap, shiny ones in mesh bags that all look polished, sometimes wax is applied to make them appear more appealing and slow moisture loss. The shine can fool you into thinking they are better than they are. Do the gentle thumb test near the top, the stem area. If your thumb sinks deep with almost no resistance, it may be past prime. If it is rock hard with no give, it is not ready yet. You want a light, even springback. Also, pop off the little stem nub. If the spot under it is bright green, that is good. Brown and mushy can mean inside browning. Another tip, do not stack them in a warm window to speed things up. You can over-soften the outer layer while the inside still lags. Instead, let them sit at room temperature until they begin to soften. Then move ripe ones to the fridge to pause them for a few days. That reduces waste. I am cautious with fast food or convenience guacamole tubs. Some do have decent avocado content, but many bulk food service mixes rely on fillers. Unless the brand is known for clean ingredients and lists avocado right at the top with a very short list, you may not get what you think. Let me expand on something practical so you waste less. If you only use half an avocado, keep the pit in the unused half. Brush a little lemon or lime juice on the exposed surface. Wrap it and refrigerate. Does it stay perfect bright green forever? Number. But you slow browning. Browning is oxidation of the flesh. It does not always mean it is unsafe. You can scrape the top thin layer. Still, fresher color is nicer. If you bought too many and they all ripen at once, you can mash the extra with lemon juice and freeze in small portions. Is the texture exactly like fresh slices later? Number. But for blending or a spread, it works and keeps you from tossing them. After all this, you might be thinking, should I give up on avocados? No. Avocados themselves can be very healthy if you get quality fruit or pure oil. One reason I still like them, the fat profile. They tend to have a lower percentage of omega-6 fatty acids, around roughly 10%, compared to many seed oils that can run in the 40 to 50% or higher range. A better balance can support a calmer internal environment over time, especially if your diet already has plenty of omega-6 from packaged snacks or fried foods. Another highlight, potassium. A medium avocado can deliver a significant amount, often in the mid to upper hundreds of milligrams. Some can reach toward 900 milligrams depending on size. Most people fall short on potassium intake in their daily eating pattern. Potassium helps with fluid balance, supports normal muscle function, and is involved in maintaining steady heart rhythm. And then there is magnesium. Avocados carry a decent amount. Magnesium is needed in hundreds of reactions in the body. Energy production, muscle relaxation, steady nerves. Those two minerals together can help you feel more even throughout the day. Fiber is another plus. The fiber in avocado helps slow digestion, supports a smoother blood sugar curve, and feeds friendly gut microbes. That slower curve can mean fewer mid-morning or late afternoon energy dips compared to a sugary breakfast. So no, avocados are not the villain. The scam is in the handling, the fake oil blends, the labeling gaps, the fillers in processed products, and the marketing that makes you think every green oil is pure and every green dip is fresh. Once you learn how to spot quality and how to avoid the traps, you reclaim the benefits without wasting money or swallowing a bunch of oxidized, diluted fat you never signed up for. Be alert, not afraid. Choose real avocado fruit. Choose real, fresh oil. Leave the fake blends and filler guacamole behind. Do this right now. Smell your avocado oil. If it's stale, cloudy, or in clear plastic, replace it. Read the guacamole label. If avocado is not the first ingredient, skip it next time. Buy only the number of avocados you'll actually use this week. Swap one processed snack today for half an avocado with a pinch of salt. Share this with one person who still thinks every avocado oil is pure. Then go watch the potassium video so you actually use the mineral edge avocados give you. I'll see you there.